In today's video, Taylor went from looking like this at 172 pounds all the way down to 135 pounds. We're gonna talk about her diet, we're gonna talk about her training, we're gonna talk about how she changed her life, went from a size 10 dress to a size 5. And she did it all as a part of our 90-day transformation challenge. And as a reminder, guys, I want you to remember that it's open right now. Links below, meal plans, including vegan options, training plans, including at-home options. It's open worldwide. We're giving away $25,000. And throughout the course of the 90 days, we're gonna be updating with new training plans, new meal plans, answering your questions, doing live videos in our private support group. I wanna help you guys reach your goals. I've been doing it for more than a decade and I wanna hand it down to you guys. So come check out Taylor's story and I hope you guys enjoy. So let's talk a little bit about the statistics. Like, what was your starting weight, finishing weight, any measurements, anything like that?
I didn't really measure, but I was what was I? I was 172. I was 172 when I started and I got to 135.
So what's the clothing difference? Because your waist literally looks like it's half the size.
Oh yeah, it is. I got down a half size. So I was a 10-12 and now I'm a 4-5.
That's crazy, right? You have a whole new wardrobe?
Yes.
That can be a good or a bad thing. So in 90 days, you lost, gosh, what is that? 35 pounds?
37 pounds.
37 pounds. Yeah. So was that a fairly even weight loss? Did you lose more at the beginning, more at the end, or?
So the first week, obviously you lose like the most. I think I lost 5 pounds in the first week.
Okay.
And then from on, it was pretty consistent. It was like 2 or 3 pounds every week. Some weeks, obviously I would plateau, but usually it was around 2 or 3 pounds. And then that very last week, I think I lost 3.
Yeah. I find that towards the end, a lot of especially the people that I've interviewed, they've gotten quite aggressive in the final weeks, double cardio, low carbs, just to get that last little push.
Yeah.
Which again, when it comes to this being a competition, there's a couple aspects to that. Some people will say, well, that's not sustainable, but in my mind, this is a competition, just like getting on a bodybuilding stage. So if you've got that competitive spirit, I'm all for it. It's not like we expect people to be doing anything crazy like that. So let's talk about your calories, your macros, cardio throughout the process. We provided some diets, some workouts, a private group. Did you utilize any of those tools?
Yeah, so when they very first sent everything out, I looked at the meal plans that they had, which was 15,000 for the calories and
probably 1,500, 15,000.
I'm sorry, 15,000 calories, 1,500. Yes. And so I went with that. And so I stayed at 1,500 and this was the first time I've done macros. So I really focused on getting my protein as high as I could, just because I've never even focused on that before. So I tried to get my protein to around 150, which was actually pretty hard for me.
Yeah, that's good.
And kept my my carbs at 100 or below, and my fats around 45%.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, was this the first time you had weighed and tracked food in that manner, or, what was the big transition for you? Was it planning ahead? Was it plugging numbers into an app?
Yeah. So usually so this was after I had my 3rd child, and with my other 2, I would just kind of just go on super strict diets, whatever fab was out there, and I would lose the weight and then, be in my normal average zone. Mm-hmm. And after this baby, I just gained weight. I just I couldn't do anything. I started to do, intermittent fasting and that didn't work. I tried to not eat all day and then I would binge eat everything at night and it was horrible. Yeah. And I just ended up gaining weight. And so this was the first time that I ate and it was interesting because I was able to eat during the day and I felt like I was super full, but I was eating all the right things and I had meal prepped. So I had this food that I just could grab out of the fridge and it wasn't a huge deal of, oh crap, what do I need to eat now?
Yeah, and it's something I harp on in my videos quite frequently, is that the most common trait amongst successful dieters is meal prepping, having food at your disposal. And also, if you're starving yourself all day, the likelihood of, binge eating at night goes way up, because, that's when you're going to have the cravings, and that's when you're going to be the most stressed. And that's when no one's watching what you're doing. So you don't feel the guilt, associated with like someone seeing you eat, a whole sleeve of Oreos. But that sounds awesome to me, the idea that, you focused on protein, because protein is also very filling, so you can fill your hunger with foods that's going to be productive. Now, let's talk a little bit about the workouts. Are you typically someone that would go to the gym and work out?
Yeah. So I have worked out for like the last 9 years since I got married, because my husband is into all that, which is one reason why I wanted to do the challenge, because he was like, okay, so you need to change something. Something needs to happen. So that was kind of my motivation. Like, I'd been to the gym and like I was going to the gym, but I wasn't pushing myself.
Sure.
And so I did that kind of like oomph to make me like focus and like really push myself into doing something.
Did you use any of the workouts we provided?
Yeah, I used a couple of the workouts you guys provided. I did every morning I would do fasted cardio and I would do HIIT. So I would do 2 or 3 minutes of walking, and then I would run, and then 2 or 3 minutes of walking, and then I'd run. And then later that day, I would do my actual weights at the gym.
That's perfect. So yeah, you had a really good routine. It kind of builds some momentum. So let's talk a little bit about the changes, as far as how did you adjust over the course? Did you hit any sticking points? What adjustments did you make?
I was actually really lucky. I didn't plateau super bad ever, because I kind of, like I said, if I got bored or I was just tired of doing it, I would change up my workouts.
Okay.
And obviously, as time progressed, I went down in calories and everything, but I would make it to the point where I wasn't hungry. Like, I never wanted to starve myself.
Okay.
So as I got thinner, obviously, I was less hungry, and I didn't have those feelings of, oh, I need this and I need that. And I would drink protein after all of my workouts, and I felt like I was getting the nutrition that I needed.
Yep.
And did have those days where I just felt like, oh, I need more. Then I would give myself more and have like a refeed kind of day, and then go back to what I was doing the next day.
Perfect. Did you utilize the private group? A lot of the feedback I got, I actually have people that request just to join that. They don't even want to do the challenge, just want to be in there. I mean, it's such a cool vibe in there. Everyone posting pictures and sharing recipes and encouraging each other. Did you get involved in there much?
Yes, I loved the Facebook page. Like,
Yeah.
I would wake up, I would look at the posts, and I would see like who was building muscle that day. And yeah, it was great. I absolutely I would join again just to be in the group. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably a big misconception. I don't know if it's still the same, but the thought that if you train really hard with the weights that you're going to get all bulky. I just think that misconception needs to die, because it just makes you look better and feel better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So calories, you mentioned they got lowered. What was the lowest you got your calories to throughout the process?
The last month and a half, I was down to 1,000 calories.
Okay.
And then the last 2 weeks, I ended up going camping actually 2 weeks before the end of the challenge.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that was a good thing or bad thing, but it mixed up my workouts, because I was working out outside and I was running outside, which before I had been on a treadmill. And I just tried to eat whatever I could. We made chicken, and I tried not to eat any of the crap that you usually eat when you're camping.
No s'mores.
Yes, no s'mores. So that week, I'm sure that I ate a bunch of different things than I had been eating. And so then the weeks when I came back, which were right before the end of the challenge,
yeah,
I probably was around 800, just because I wasn't putting very much into my body at all, but protein.
Yeah. Yeah. And again,
never got rid of carbs. Really?
Sure
I had all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that's not something we would ever suggest people doing, is going that low calorie. But again, the nature of a competition is you get a little motivated. And I'll say this, myself, I even do things that I would consider not long-term sustainable to reach my goal when I'm in like a contest prep. So now let's talk about what's happened since, because it's been a few weeks. And it wouldn't be much of a transformation challenge if you undid all your hard work at the end. So let's talk a little bit about where your calories are now, your cardio is now, your training, and just how you feel about yourself.
So I have upped my calories to about like 2,000 to 2,500.
Wow.
And obviously I was looking at everyone with all the muscle. So I decided to focus more on like gaining some muscle for a little while.
Heck
And
yeah.
then after I gain some more muscle, then I want to go back into cutting.
That's
But
awesome.
it is very interesting because I have like in the gym, I can feel like I can lift so much more now. And so it's exciting.
Yeah. And I think that's an important message too, is that, this is called a transformation challenge, not a weight loss challenge. So a lot of what we try to focus on is, changing your body composition is a part of that. And so, as competitors, what I tend to focus on is every time I diet down, I want to have more muscle, right? So I'm spending the time between competitions focusing on that. And, not only for competition, but just for overall health and well-being. I think, there is a ton of research that shows that as we age, how much muscle density really does improve our quality of life. So it's awesome that you're doing so good. And now, obviously, you can pick up your kids and throw them around the house if you want, and super
Yeah.
mom, right?
Yeah, and I've only really gained I was 135.
Right? Yeah,
It ended, and I'm 140 now. So I've gained about 5 pounds.
yeah.
So, but I feel like I still feel really good, and I feel like I'm gaining muscle, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Well, and that's a part of it. It's not just, we don't want to get too attached to a number on the scale, especially when you're feeling strong, you're eating well, you're obviously like bubbly and happy, hopefully on a daily basis, like that's awesome. So yeah, I'm thrilled. Like, I'm so glad that you got to be in the top three. I think, the level of competition this year was pretty insane. You know, the job of judging this thing was no easy task. So listen, I really appreciate you taking the time today, and can't wait to get this video out and share it with everybody.
Okay, thank you.
I really hope you enjoyed just hearing that. But the thing that stood out to me was really the glow in her voice and how excited she was. Really what this taught me was the value in having control over the way we look. Not everybody wants to be shredded. Not everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but I think we all want to understand how we can change our physique to fit the kind of goals that we have. And sometimes with all the misinformation out there about these kind of fad diets and these fad pills and these shots that you need to take, nonsense. Be accountable, understand the basics, have some motivation and some support. And heck, if you want, you can get our support with the 90-day transformation challenge that just kicked off. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.